All right, we've got Anna here from Pearler.com, and she is going to show us how to use this platform. So Anna, what is our first step after we arrive at the homepage here at Pearler.com?
Perfect. When you land on Pearler, you usually want to sign up. So you want to include your name and your email, and you can sign up. Okay. You then land on the dashboard page where you have to verify your identity before you can actually start investing. I've done a little bit of this here, but I'll just kind of walk you through the first steps of what you actually do. So in order to verify your account, you just need to set up all your personal details. And the reason we need this is because anytime you open up a bank account, we need to make sure that it is actually you. So you would fill in your name, your gender, your status. All of this stuff is needed by the banks. You verify your email.
Mm-hmm. And this is all super secure, isn't it, Anna?
Absolutely, absolutely. We take security very seriously at Pearler. Yeah. You have to include all of your funding, your annual income. You have to declare also that any affiliations that you might actually have. And this again is all required by banking.
Mm-hmm.
You also can include your banking details. And the reason that this is important is because when you start investing, Pearler needs to know where it's pulling the banking information from. So
okay,
don't worry.
Sorry, I was going to say, and is this for that when you want to set up and deposit money into your account, it will be using these details?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways that you can use this. Is you can deposit money directly, you can set up auto invest, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But either way, it's like if you're going to fund any investments you want to make, we need to know where the money is coming from. So that's where your bank details are.
Great.
So that gets included as well. So pretend that I have accurate information. And here you'll also have to verify with a digital ID. Usually it's pretty straightforward. Either you need just your passport, driver's license, or your Medicare card. And it doesn't take very long. And you just upload that as well. Secure, as it just captures your ID and verifies for Pearler that you are who you say you are.
Yeah, and I actually went through this the other day and I was like, boom, boom, boom. I think it took me like a minute to do because I had all my ID on me. So it was a super fast process.
Perfect. And here you just upload what you need and basically you get reviewed and you're then ready.
All right, so we've landed on the dashboard. So can you explain to us what we have going on here?
Perfect. So on this dashboard, you have basically everything you need. Right at the top, you'll see your portfolio value. If you've just joined, you'll probably see 0. But this will include your whole portfolio value and you'll be able to track it over time. It includes any cash that you've deposited, so any cash that's waiting to purchase any shares. And that includes ETFs or LICs or individual stocks. And you'll be able to see that all here. So I've contributed $4,000. I have a little bit of a loss. That's okay because it's all about long-term investing. So I'm not really fussed at the moment. You can also see that I have $9 waiting here within my auto invest cash. And if I want to deposit additional money, I can do that directly here.
And we've already set up our bank account earlier when we were first setting up our Pearler account. So I'm assuming that just is all linked together.
Absolutely. You basically can hit deposit and pick the amount and you're set. You're ready to go.
Amazing. Easy.
Just a couple other things to note on this dashboard. You can also see that I have pending items. I have auto invest set up, which we'll talk about later. And you can see that that's $1,000 I'm waiting for. You can see my assets. Currently, I only have one asset, and that's a specific ETF, ETH, that's sitting there. And there's a couple other things that you can see, auto invest, and we'll walk through that later, and goals. So I can set up a target goal in this case, and I can set up a target goal. Just leave it at that.
Fantastic. So if I've got a goal of I want to have invested $20,000 by January 2022, I can add in there and it will show me how I'm going with my goal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I'm so excited to learn more about auto invest because I think this feature is just marvelous.
It's my favorite feature as well. Before we get to auto invest, I'll just talk about how you can manually invest. You can go straight to the invest page. You'll see again that the only share that I hold or only ETF that I hold is right here. Here's a couple popular ones. So if I want to add them or invest in them, I can. If you're new to investing and you're not sure how to set up a portfolio, there's a couple different portfolios here that you can choose from. The Firestarter has one Vanguard ETF that is all encompassing, whereas some of the other ones have a bit of a balanced account, and you can click into them and add them to your portfolio, which means that you can then in the future invest in them through auto invest and so forth.
Great.
But we won't talk about that right now. What we'll talk about is how you would want to maybe add or buy a share. So when I say shares, I mean everything, including ETFs. The great thing about Perler is they have free ETFs that you can choose from, and you can see them all here. Basically, you need to hold them for 12 months, and you don't have to pay any brokerage on them.
I love that you guys are like, we don't want you to sell. We want this to be for the long term. So I think that's a really neat little extra there.
Absolutely. All about the long-term investing.
Yeah.
So if I just want to search ETFs, I can. Here are all the ETFs if I continue down. So for example, there's two different ways I can go about this. I can actually buy an ETF, and I would click on it, and I can decide how much I want to buy it for. Let's say I want to buy $2,000 and so forth. I can set that up. I'm not going to do that for right now, but it's just quite easy. And you just buy it, and that's it.
And great. So it gives you the unit price up the top there. So in this example, at this date, at this time, it's $90.39 per unit.
Yes,
Great.
perfect. And again, it takes a few days for the deposit to go through, which is why it's flagging it here, but that shouldn't be a problem at all. Because again, it's all about the long-term investing. Similarly, what I can do, and this works with the auto invest feature, is I can add this to my portfolio. So let's say VAS is an ETF I want to add to my portfolio. I want to invest in ETHI, which was the other ETF I had, and VAS. I would just add that to my portfolio, which means that it's something that I'm wanting to achieve and have within my portfolio. And I'll walk you through that when we go to the portfolio page, which is right here.
Great. And I loved on the side then as well, how you can actually filter through those different ETFs as well. And you can go by ethical, or you can go by Australian. Yeah, great. And you can buy international stocks on Perler.
We'll have the American Stock Exchange soon, but you can buy shares that are domiciled in Australia that are international.
Okay, great.
So if we go to the portfolio page, you can see my current portfolio. I've only been invested in this one specific ETF. I've now added VAS. So let's say I want to invest in both of those 50-50. There's a couple different ways that I can do that. And the feature that we've talked about previously was auto invest. So I'd love to be able to walk you through auto invest and how that works.
Great.
So let's say those are the two funds I want to invest in. I can go to auto invest, and you can see them here, that those are the two that I'm holding, and the allocation I picked was 50%, and I can adjust that in the portfolio page. I then go to the auto invest settings, and I can choose how I want to invest. So I can either make a regular deposit, invest it immediately, or I can make regular deposits, and then once they reach a certain value, so let's say I want to deposit $200 over a period of time until I get 1,000 and then invest it, I can do that. Whereas the first one is deposit, invest right away. And the third one is I can make manual deposits. So for example, if I don't have a regular income, I can choose when to do that. I can then choose, for example, I want to invest $1,000. Let's say I want to do that, every 2 weeks. I can set that up, and then both of those are then chosen because I have 50-50 between both of those, and I can adjust that in my portfolio. And then there's a couple different strategies that I can choose from. I can choose to just invest in the lowest share. So if, as you know, the market can fluctuate. So at one point, they'll never be 50-50. One might be, a little bit higher than the other, 60-40 and so forth. The idea is I would choose maybe the lowest share to invest in. And so my money would go into that, which would just be one brokerage fee. Whereas I can also choose to rebalance across everything. So make sure that everything comes back to 50-50. So if I had a lot of different ETFs that I was holding or shares, I can just rebalance them, or I can invest equally. So if I decide that I'm investing $2,000, I can choose that 1,000 will go into those two funds.
And would I get hit with a brokerage fee, or because they are free ETFs, I wouldn't?
If it was a free ETF, you wouldn't have to pay the brokerage fee. VAS, unfortunately, I don't think is at the moment. So you would have to check. And especially if you're rebalancing or doing equal invest, you might actually have to pay multiple brokerage fees for that. So it just depends on your strategy and what you're wanting to do.
Okay, great. So it looks like the most popular option there is just choose the lowest share, with 94% of users doing that. And so with that, so I set it up, automated, and then let's say like every fortnight that money leaves my account. Maybe I set it up around payday, leaves my account, and then it goes into my portfolio and just automatically does. I don't even have to think about it. I love that, because you're literally growing your wealth without having to do the manualing of like actually remembering to do it, finding your logins. It just happens automatically. That is a cool feature.
Absolutely. You get the emails, so don't worry. It's not like all this stuff is not going to happen. You're informed along the way. You can double check everything. $1,000 every 2 weeks. It also shows what they are again, and I can just save that, and that's easy, ready to go. Because I verified my account, I get a message to my mobile phone. I fill that out, and then I approve it, and then it's ready to go.
All right. So I guess just some other things to call out is looking at the dashboard along the side, you've got transactions. So I'm assuming that's where like a list of the transactions of what you've been invested in, any fees, that kind of thing sits.
Absolutely. So you can see that I'm waiting for an auto invest to go through. So it's in progress. Like I said, it takes a few days. You can see my investment credit. So that's usually the brokerage fee, but because I've referred a friend, I got that back. And so you can see the transfers and the trades that happened along the way as well.
And if it's not a free ETF, the brokerage fee, is it $9.50?
Yeah, it's $9.50 as long as it's under $17,500.
Yeah, which I imagine a lot of our ladies will probably be more on that lower regular amount. So great to know. And then just finally, we've got goals at the top. So I'm assuming that's just where we set like our investment goals of like, say, if we're trying to get $20,000 by the time we're 36 or by X date, it works it out for you and shows you your progress, which is a really cool, nifty little knack. So
yeah. Absolutely. You can just edit it and edit goals. You can put your date of birth, your target amount, and then you can set it and you can see the progress as it goes through. And it's also on your dashboard.
Yeah, I love anything that does the math for you. Brilliant.
Yep.
And so we can go to pearler.com to download the app. And also, if we do have questions or where we're not sure of something, where can we go to ask those questions?
Yeah, great. We have a help desk that you can look at frequently asked questions, or you can just click this icon down here that will let you look at different articles or even just talk to our customer service.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much, Anna, for taking us through Perla, and we look forward to hear people's investing successes.